Hi, thanks for tuning in. Today's stream is brought to you by Collab+Currency, the leading investor in Web3 consumer products, an internet game, which is the game you're about to be watching. Let's dive in. The grand finale, y'all. The big kahunas. The one we've all been waiting for. I think there's about 20 of you total still watching, and you guys waited for pretty much the best. Please welcome on Steve McKeon, Derek Edward-Schloss, the two partners of Collab+Currency. Give it up. Hey, with the merch.
What up? What up? We got the interns in the house. What's going on, guys?
Hello, hello.
We're in the home stretch of our internet game stream. We're working on a special guest for your guys' slot.
Ooh, this I can't wait for. Quick question while you guys are on the hot seat. How has it been? You guys have been recording for how long? 6 hours? 7 hours? How's it going? You're still wearing the same suit we left you with this morning? Hasn't changed?
Nope.
What's been the day like, guys? What's been the highlights?
Jack, you start.
Okay, so for me, the highlight has been I've learned so much in the past 5 hours. Literally, the variety of guests that come on, the knowledge that's been dropped. I can't wait to go back and look through these and chop it up because we've got some incredible sound bites, a little bit of alpha, low light, going to the bathroom. Shouldn't have drank as many fluids, so that was
understandable. That's why we got running over there to help you change the bedpan every 30 minutes, dude. You guys are a real tag team.
Yeah. For me, gotta be tired. Probably put the highest score on internet game today. Impromptu, just ripped it for like 2 hours. That was dope. And then, I don't know, it was just like random knowledge. Like 1 second we're talking about AI art. Next second, Tom Schmidt's talking about private order block flow and MEV post-merge. Like,
let's go.
Everything. So it's been dope.
Really quickly, what has been the high score of the day by any guests or you guys?
Oh, well, funny you bring it up.
Boom. Do it.
Wait, that
guy is insane.
That's a real score.
That.
Yeah.
All right, I was gonna say I got to level 6 earlier today, but it sounds like this might be a little higher.
Yeah, he got 16.
What, 15? 16?
Mm-hmm. Unreal.
He was the guy who got 7th in season 1.
Amazing. Wow. So this is the competition. I don't stand a chance.
That's why we cash out after about a game or two.
Amazing.
Us casuals, we call it.
There you go. What about you guys? Did you guys? What are your PRs here?
I think I got 650,000.
I think I was high 500,000, so not great, but
nicely done. Zach, have you been? Go ahead, Steve.
I just need to beat the low score. What was that? 280?
Yeah. Here we go. It's Ben Levy from the Milk Road.
What level is this? What level is this?
If you can get past level 3, then you will not have the highest score. Sorry, the lowest score.
Got it. Cool.
You guys ready to get fired up?
Yeah, I might need to buy another ticket. So why don't we have Steve go first?
Okay.
So Steve, basically how we do this is whenever you're ready, share your screen and it won't pop up immediately, and then just give me the green light whenever you got all your personal stuff cleared off.
And
all right.
If you saw any of the games where we had people playing the game and answering the questions, we're actually playing 2 games here. First game being the internet game, and the second game being how do I answer these questions while playing the internet game. So it should be a whole lot of fun.
It's like the hot sauce show.
Hot Ones.
Yeah, Hot
Ones.
It's exactly like Hot Ones.
Am I going to put that up on screen?
Yep, should be good. Just about to click in here.
Sweet. This one we might want to tune them to Derek while Steve plays and then do the Hot Ones type deal.
Okay, so we're going to get this started with something very relatable. I think we all know Derek and Steve as the sharpest minds in Web3. Let's start with our biggest L's. What is the largest wrecked situation you've had in crypto?
Man, the largest wrecked situation. Gosh, I mean, if you're around this space for long enough, you've tallied up the L's over and over and over again. I mean, right. I mean, the thing that's top of mind right now is I got a ton of NFTs that collections that I love aesthetically, but for value capture reasons, just haven't really resonated with the greater public. So I'm left back holding quite a few beautiful digital objects, many of which are not super valuable.
Wow. That is such a mild wreck story. I would kill for a wreck story like that. You got wrecked on something you still love. That's a
man,
win.
dude, you can't get wrecked if you're buying stuff you love. What's your big L, Jack?
Oh, you're gonna make me disclose this?
I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it. Let's turn the mic around.
My biggest L is that if you look at the Moonbird's contract, you're gonna see Moonbird number 9515, currently owned by nobody, but once upon a time owned by me.
You sent the bird to the Moonbird's contract.
The Moonbird is in the contract, and like people always ask me, they're like, "What's the story behind that?" I was like, "Was it like some elaborate phishing scam or hack?" And no. Don't. If you ever drink, people, put your laptop away, as far away as possible, and you'll never be in a situation like me.
You're just playing it fast and loose one Friday night. Just sending internet value all across the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
Fast and loose for sure.
Yeah, no. Zach saw me on that fateful day.
What about you, Steve? Steve, what's your big L, Steve?
Man.
No
L. Probably
no. That's for another podcast. We'll have to tell that story another time.
Indeed. I think I'm borderline going to be low score here.
Steve, rip this fast. Rip this right part fast. Then
there you go.
There we go.
Well done, sir.
All right, so we just covered the worst time that we got wrecked. Steve, if you have a story you want to come back to, just let me know. We can always circle. But let's talk about the hits. Let's talk about Artblocks, the #1 generative art studio in the world and the genesis point of much of the on-chain culture we have today. I'd like to know, what was it like investing in something like that? Was it hard getting into that round?
Yeah, so it's probably best to kind of set the stage. So this is mid-2020. We got really interested in this idea of the ERC 721 wrapper, being able to connote digital scarcity and starting to build property rights on top of that wrapper. So the Artblocks story really starts with Super Rare. Steve and I were sent a deck for Super Rare. They were raising a round. They were raising their seed round. We did a very long deep dive, I think about 6 weeks, on the project, on the users. We interviewed a bunch of artists and got conviction that what they were doing was replicating the contemporary art market with smart contracts and the Ethereum blockchain as kind of this settlement and tracking layer. And then it was just kind of like off to the races. We were obsessed with the format, NFTs broadly, and we started just this is an insane level. This is where I got mixed up.
And Steve, you were the first person I've seen use that strategy before.
Yeah, Steve, let me put you under the meta here. So you're gonna want to come in through that second one.
Yeah, not the first one.
Not the first one.
I figured that out too.
So
not this.
Not all the way into the second layer.
Exactly.
It's kind of like a power button. You want the right part of it. So there you go. And then you get into the middle there.
Yeah, so got obsessed with the ERC 721 wrapper, got obsessed with NFTs broadly, and just got, obsessed with the culture. This was like early punks, Discord. We became, founding members of Flamingo DAO, which was kind of left open in terms of registration for many, many months. Started finding like-minded people to hash ideas out with, and eventually came across Eric Snowfro. And look at that. Well done, sir.
Well done.
All right. Man, I feel worn out.
All right, Ronan, I'm ready to fire up.
All right. But continue, Derek.
Yeah, so anyway, became an early collector at Artblocks, got obsessed with the platform, realized this was an extension to generative artists who have been creating work but unable to monetize for 6, 7, 8 decades. And was very clear that Eric was onto something special by extending the form of generative art and using blockchains as a way to allow the consumer of the art piece and their purchasement to act as a seed for any on-chain algorithm. It was just like a very elegant way to bring a type of work, so generative art, onto these ledgers. So we led the seed round and have ever since become large collectors on the platform and good friends with Eric and his team, and have just loved being on the Artblocks journey.
Awesome. And I think for those less familiar than me, Jack, and Zach, I think it'd be kind of cool to talk about how you and Steve met Derek and just kind of that origin story. I find it pretty unique, and I think that
yeah. So Steve and I, before running Collab+Currency together, we worked on 4 projects together over the past decade. Back in 2010, I went to law school and business school at the University of Oregon, and 2 years into that program is when I did 2 years of law school. Then in that third year, started to combine both programs. And Steve was a first-year finance professor in the MBA program, just a hair older than most of the students that were in that class. So we all became fast friends, and over the next decade, worked on a ton of stuff together. I was an advisor to Steve's drone startup. Steve was an advisor to my consumer product startup. We published work together. We were kind of running a think tank in the blockchain space together for a little while, and then jumped over to Collaborative Fund when Steve was advising over there, and eventually spun that out. And now we run the world's greatest consumer Web3 crypto fund together.
Boom. And this is a perfect segue. I might even swing this one to you, Steve. Obviously, the space has developed and changed drastically since you guys first kicked it off. Maybe you guys could just talk about the evolution of your kind of investment framework and thesis, and like how you've seen the space change since then.
Sure. So, I mean, when we started, really, I think it started with Collaborative Fund. We were investing out of the main fund at Collaborative back in like 2016, 2017 into crypto, and then realized pretty quickly the space was expanding. It was not going away. It was going to be its own vertical. And so that was sort of the birth of Collab+Currency, is let's lean in. Let's raise a separate pool of capital. Let's build a separate team that just focuses on this stuff 24/7. So first fund was launched in 2018. I would say in that first fund, kind of just being in crypto was a bit of a specialty. When we started, there was only really a handful of crypto funds running kind of like the venture model, where you invest, you anticipate holding it on the order of years, you work with the team. There were definitely some hedge funds out there, but we really wanted to bring sort of like the venture mindset to investing. So in Fund 1, we did kind of everything. We did equity deals, we did layer ones, we did infrastructure and interoperability, we did DeFi. And towards the end of Fund 1, we did the super rare deal. And I think it really changed our thinking. We wrote an article called "You're Sleeping on Crypto Art," kind of articulating, I think Derek mentioned it maybe earlier in the podcast. And we then, led the Artblocks deal, and then we did Axie Infinity very early, or Sky Mavis, the parent. And sort of after that, I think the die was cast. We realized we really liked this segment of the space. We really wanted to lean into the consumer vertical. And so in Fund 2, it's almost everything we did was sort of at this intersection of consumer and Web3. And that brought us to Internet Game and many others. And it's been a wild ride.
Awesome.
Is this Jack playing right now?
Yeah.
I'm very impressed, sir. Have you? I mean, this is some next level internet gaming.
Oh, thank you. I've only been doing it all day.
It's the meta. You got to get to the second part, sit in the middle, then go. It's so messed up. We sit here and try for 6 for like good majority of the time, and then literally tired would just transport to 10 and spend 4.5 minutes on levels 10. It was
amazing.
I am trapped in this hellscape, Derek, and it's called level 6. I
amazing.
can't get out.
This is where I capped out as well. This is a tricky one.
I think the title of this mini game was hit it on the head with FML. But yeah, so I think the next thing we kind of want to talk about is you guys are going to Marfa in November, and maybe you guys can talk about a little bit what you're going to launch there and what you're looking forward to.
Yeah, so Artblocks does this wonderful event every year. We're at FML, McGeeski. Nice try.
FML.
Good try,
Nice
sir.
Jack.
Artblocks does this amazing event annually. They do essentially just like a collector summit. Artblocks puts it on. The town of Marfa is quite small. I think about 1,000 or 1,500 people live there year round. On the weekends, it floods with folks. Marfa itself is where Artblocks is headquartered, and it's also known as just a very significant place for contemporary art. It's a place where Donald Judd in the 70s, who's a very famous artist, came and relocated his whole workshop and career. And with him came a bunch of prestige to Marfa and a bunch of folks that, just like the art industry has like it's kind of this beloved space now in the art industry. It's about 3 hours from the nearest airport. So it's kind of remote and in the middle of nowhere. It's got a rich Hollywood history as well. A bunch of movies have filmed out in Marfa. And a bunch of shows, award-winning shows have filmed out in Marfa as well in the landscape and surrounding area. So all that to say, Artblocks is headquartered there. Every year they put on this event where folks that are supportive of the generative art movement, crypto art and Artblocks, more specifically, will come out and spend time out there. And Steve and I went with the Flamingo Dial last year, fell in love with Marfa, decided that we wanted to buy property in Marfa. So Steve and I picked up a gallery that we've been remodeling for the last 6 months. And we're calling it Glitch Gallery. And our grand opening is going to be for this big Artblocks weekend coming up in about 2 months. So we're very excited. We're going to have some cool events, some cool artists we're highlighting out there. Some of our portfolio companies are going to also be putting on they're going to be putting on different stuff out there at the gallery over the course of 3 or 4 days. And we're excited for the world to see it and also support Artblocks and the work that they're doing for generative art while we're out there as well. So yeah, Steve, you want to add any things we're excited about or any alpha about what we've got planned?
You nailed it. I think just like super excited to bring sort of like more awareness of digital art to Marfa. It's right downtown, right next door to the Hotel St. George, just about 2 or 3 blocks from the Artblocks headquarters. Marfa's great because the town is very walkable. You can walk to pretty much everywhere in the whole town, and it's going to be a blast.
That's awesome.
So we have Derek and Steve, who were there last year, and you've told me a few stories about your experience, and they're some of my favorite. But we also have the treat of having Zach on this call, who's been helping put it together this year. I was curious if you guys have any stories you'd like to tell, things that are of memorable moments from the Glitch Gallery in Marfa.
Let's show this one to Zach. What do you got, Zach?
Just about the setup. I mean, as what's kind of been mentioned already, it's a little bit in the middle of nowhere, so it was a bit of an adventure, trying to get this place set up. There's not many like general contractors around, painters around. It's a super small city. Everyone kind of knows each other, the people that live there full time. So it's just been a super fun experience trying to set it up. I know Steve and Derek went down there the last time and met a really nice guy that's kind of been helping us out and knows everyone else in the city. So it's been able to connect us with the proper people we needed to kind of outfit this place to the level that we've wanted it to be. So yeah, it's just been super fun. I haven't even been down there either. Like when we're actually having this opening, it's going to be the first time I've been in Marfa, even though, I'm talking to people that live down there and I'm organizing this thing almost every day. So I'm super excited to get down there and get my eyes on this place, because I've seen it, virtually pretty much every single day, painstaking over, like what color we want the walls to be, what plaster we want on the walls, like the fixtures in the bathroom, things that are so small. And the fact that I haven't even been there, it's kind of funny talking to people about it every day. So I'm just excited to get down there, see it for myself, see the rest of the city, and just kind of experience the Artblocks weekend environment, which has been hyped up quite a bit. So I'm excited to have fun.
Yeah.
Spec-wise,
you did remind me of my greatest rug, or wreck.
Okay.
So we hired someone to repair the roof on Glitch Gallery. We saw that there was like a little water damage on the wall, so we're like, the roof must need replacing or repairing anyway. And so we hired this group to go and repair the roof. First time it rains, the roof leaks again. Felt totally rugged. So there's been a bunch of, like remodeling from a distance is like always a challenge. But as Zach said, we've got some great folks on the ground that are helping us.
Yeah. And special shout out to Zach too, for being our guardian angel. He's got the halo over his head. He's making the Marfa renovation. He's making the Marfa renovation be super easy for us. So thanks for all your hard work there, Zach.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a chance the roof people didn't even come and fix it.
I was just gonna say.
It's totally possible.
Cameras, and they charged us probably $15,000, but who knows if they actually came. As our friend Joe down there, kind of our property manager, says, it's West Texas, so anything goes.
Guys, I have a confession. I'm the roof guy. I've been the roof guy this whole time.
Nagiski.
Yeah.
You do those old tricks.
You could have been the roof guy.
That's funny.
We got 6 minutes left here. Would you guys be down to do some rapid fire round robin?
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's go. Name me 3 or 1, somewhere in that range, projects that you believe are flying under the table.
Wow.
I'm gonna go.
You go first,
VBA.
Steve.
We'll go back and forth. I think VBA is under the radar. You just had Charles on as a guest in the last session here, and I think that's going to be a breakout. We're super excited about virtual basketball.
Yep. I'll do the easy layup to extend the analogy and say that Internet Game is flying very much under the radar. They are the strongest team working on Web3 tournament elimination style mass market gaming. It's not even close. These guys are super sharp. They're at the bleeding edge of how these worlds are going to collide. And they've done some innovative stuff already with season 2, learning off the lessons of season 1. Super excited about Internet Game. I can talk about this product for 30 minutes, but it's brought us all here together today. So I have to say, I have to give a shout out to the boys at Internet Game for crushing it this season.
Yeah.
And I think we're bouncing
chat too. Just super. Chris has been in chat for half the stream.
Yeah.
Messing with guests, just super dope guys.
Bouncing it back to Steve. Any other projects you want to add on to that?
I can tell you one I'm very excited for is a project called Sirocco by Lunchbox. It's going to be a MOBA. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. For the MOBA gamers out here, stay tuned for Sirocco.
Next round robin question. What is your least popular but highest conviction take? Or alternatively, what is your hottest crypto take?
Wow. You want to take it first, Steve?
I guess our North Star has always been that digital wallets are going to be as ubiquitous as email addresses. And I continue to believe that. Although I think if you talk to members of the general public, they might be skeptical of that take. So maybe that makes it a hot take. I think most people in crypto sort of believe that's the road we're on and the path we're headed. But that's one that I keep coming back to. That sort of guides everything about the way I think about this space is what does it look like when everybody has a wallet?
It's a good one. I'll throw it up and say, I will die on this hill. The most interesting stuff happening in Web3 right now is happening at the consumer level, the consumer layer. We've now gotten to a place where we've moved up the stack. There will always be, foundational experimentation happening at the infrastructure layers. But my view is that the most interesting stuff that will happen over this next decade is going to be the stuff that happens at the application layer, at the consumer level. That's going to bring the next 100 million people into this space. So it's where we spend the most time thinking about stuff. It's where all of my intellectual interest is now pointed towards, which is an evolution from the way that I came into the space originally. But I feel confident in saying that the most interesting outcomes, the most interesting stuff is now happening at the application and consumer level.
I got more round robin questions. Are you? And let me know if I'm slamming them too hard here. But I love these sound bites.
Let's go.
TikTok's gonna eat these up. So, what advice would you have for your 20-year-old self?
Oh man, advice for my 20-year-old self. I mean, I needed a lot of advice when I was 20 years old.
Something everyone except maybe. Oh, sorry, I interrupted there. Go ahead, Steve.
I was gonna say, like, you just have to you have to lean into stuff. I guess I'll tell you one thing that's been surprising to me, sort of over my career, is relationships that you might make at one point in your life have a way of like circling back later in your life. So if you think about even with like Collaborative Fund, like Craig and I first met, I think when I was 20 years old, and then like stayed in touch from time to time over the next decade until sort of serendipity happened and they needed someone who was deep in crypto, and I was one of the first finance professors studying and researching crypto, and our paths aligned again, even though that was sort of like a relationship I had made a decade earlier. And so like that's been one thing that's been surprising, is just sort of like how things come around and sort of like maintaining contact with the folks in your network. Like you never know where you're going to cross paths again.
That was a good one. Man, tricky 20-year-old self. Yeah, I would just say lean into being like, something that I've learned to do like over the course of my own career is like the most learning happens when I'm the most vulnerable, whether it's with information or knowledge or the people I'm working with or the industries that I'm trying to grok, the jobs that I do, the people I work with. If I feel like I'm a bit uncomfortable, it's always a good thing. And I think when I was 20, I was more likely to see that as maybe being something I should be averse to. But the deepest learning that I've done and the most growth that I've done both professionally and personally has been when I've been most uncomfortable, which to me is a bit of it's like a signal that there's something right about what I'm doing or what I'm about to embark on. So a little bit of discomfort does go a long way.
Thank you guys. That was an amazing Ronan, do you have any you want to add?
No, I was just going to say that was a very natural kind of culmination of this entire stream. Just some deep OG learnings, man.
Let me we got to turn it back around and say you guys have been awesome. For those that are still actually streaming this thing, all 6 of you that are out there on the internet, these two, Ronan and Jack, have been our summer interns this summer, and it's been a pleasure working with them as they start off on their young careers. We've been excited to work with you dudes. Thank you for all the hard work you've done, and we're excited to see where you guys go on your journey.
100%.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. Seriously, we've learned an incredible amount over the past 10 weeks. The people I've been able to meet, the ideas we've been discussing, it's an experience you don't really get in too many other places. So you flipped it around.
Let's go.
Flipped it on you.
Well done, gentlemen.
Thank you so much for coming on, guys.
Take care, guys.
Signing off.
Have a good one.